boys and girls, it's the last four. It's the semi-final stages of the Europa League. Who's going to get the upper hand in the first legs? We're going to get into it, all of it, next. Today we're taking a look at, of course, the semi-finals of the Europa League, who, of course, will get the upper hand as we edge closer to that final. We'll get into it, all of it, in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, you know who you are. And again, if you're new, where the hell have you been, boys? We are looking forward to this, two crunch matches in the Europa League this week. And, of course, a couple of them again next week to see who will go through to that final, of course, for a taste of European glory. We'll get into it, all of it, in a second. Of course, big shout out once again to the VIPs. Anyway, let's turn back the clocks, of course, to the quarterfinals and see how I got on. I got myself just 6 points. Pretty grim in the eyes of the prediction kings, but these were the results and these were my picks. Starting with Marseille, 1-0 winners over Benfica, 2-0 winners it was in my eyes. Of course, that was a 2-2 final scoreline, which of course dragged it to penalties, and Marseille, believe it or not, come out on top against the Benfica side. Meanwhile, West Ham gave it their all against Leverkusen. 1-1 final score on the day. 1-0 winners was my pick. 3-1, of course, Leverkusen go through. Just a 1 point for me. Then, of course, Liverpool crashed out. Oh my. It's gone from bad to worse for Klopp in his final season at Liverpool. Of course, was looking for a quadruple at one stage, and now looks like just going to go home with the Carabao Cup. Of course, the league's fallen to bits, and this fell to complete to shits as well. They did pick up a 1-0 win over Atalanta in Atalanta. I went with a 3-0 win because I thought miracles were going to happen once again, but not this time. 3-1 win. Atalanta go through to the semi-finals. Joining them will be another Italian side. It'll be Roma. That's right. 2-1 winners over Milan. Final score, I went with a draw myself. 3-1 on aggregate. Roma are there. Milan are home. So pretty grim stuff if you are from the Premier League supporting clubs, because none of them are there. But if you are from Serie A, guess what? It's a time to shine for those boys. Anyway, quick look at the table. As you can see, Nico's ET picking up a 33-pointer this past week. Hans Wurst, 27 points. Kevin with 24. And, of course, the chasing back. As you can see, I did pretty shitty, so not good for me as we look forward to those semi-finals. But I'm looking forward to them because it gives me a chance to bounce back, and these are the two games from those four clubs. We have Roma, Leverkusen, and we have Marseille against Atalanta. We could have an all-Italian final, of course, but before we get to that stage, let's of course predict these semi-finals, and we're going to do it, of course, leg by leg. Today we're going to do the first legs. Of course, next week we'll do the second, of course. So we're starting with Roma against in-form, unbeatable Leverkusen. Now, this is actually a big, tall order for Leverkusen here. Of course, going to Roma first legs, of course, and they are a tricky wicket to play against under Daniel De Rossi. Of course, Mourinho was at charge at the start of the season, but Daniel De Rossi has turned these boys into something else, of course. They'll be at the Stadio Olimpico, coming at you on the 2nd of May. Played each other 7 times in the past since 2004. 2 wins for Roma, 1 for Leverkusen, and 4 draws, of course. Roma picking up a 1-0 win, their biggest, scoring 12 goals in those 5 games, 1.71 goals a game on average. Leverkusen, with that one and only win, was a 3-1 win. They've also scored 12 goals in those 7 games, 1.71 goals a game as well. Roma, 75% form for them right now, just back-to-back games, though, without a loss. Back-to-back games without a win heading into this one. Meanwhile, Leverkusen, of course, unbeaten in the last 49 matches, 75% form for them also, but winless in the last 3, of course. But they do come to without a loss in the last 23 matches, which, of course, is part of that 49-game unbeaten streak. Last time around, though, over at Roma, it was a 1-0 win way back in May 2023, just last year. Of course, at the same stage last year, in the same tournament, it was a 1-0 win for Roma, of course, who ultimately went through to the final with a 1-0 aggregate win. That's right. Of course, Roma on the back of a 2-2 draw against Napoli over in Serie A. Leverkusen also same scoreline, 2-2 draw with Stuttgart most recently. The odds here, 12-5 is your Roma, 21-20 is your Leverkusen, and 13-5 is the draw here. The futures or the predictions for the title here, we do have Bayer Leverkusen are favoured 5-4 on for the victory. Roma are 5-1 long shots. And again, that form is a major flag for me here. Again, I do think Leverkusen are probably the strongest out of the two overall, but I do think it's going to be a tough old game. I'm going to go with another tight one. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, giving Roma a bit of hope heading into that second leg, because you just don't know. And again, just like I said in the Europa League conference videos, tight affairs. I think these are very slim margins. I don't think we're going to see any team blow out anybody else here. I don't expect to see any 3 or 4-0 scorelines at the semi-finals. Teams are going to play cautious. They're going to play defensive, and they're going to try and scrape through, whether it's by the skin of the teeth or even penalties. Meanwhile, we go over to La France, of course, the south of France, with Marseille taking on Atalanta, of course, over the Orange Velodrome. They are played to the never, these two sides. Marseille, 50% form for them right now, heading into this, unbeaten now in the last 4 games. Of course, now under the managerialship of Jean-Louis Gasset. Atalanta on 75% form for them right now, 3 wins on the bounce, of course, and looking A-OK. Of course, Marseille on the back of that 2-1 win over Lens, over in Ligue 1 this past weekend, and meanwhile, Atalanta picking up a 2-0 scoreline against Empoli, of course, also picking up wins over Fiorentina and Monza in that 3-game unbeaten run, of course. Quick look at the odds on this one then. We have 29-20 is your Marseille, 70% is your Atalanta, at 12-5 is the draw. Now these, I believe, according to looking at those odds, this is the closer game out of the two before, with everything in focus there. Of course, and a quick look at the odds. So you can see Atalanta are 3-1 second favourites behind Bayer Leverkusen. Marseille, the underdogs, completely 70-2. But it is in France. It is a tricky game. Marseille have shown a bit of grit most recently, and Atalanta, I think, are best served at home. And my understanding will be a very tight game once again. And again, only a goal between the two sides, maybe a 1-0. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 win, which is a popular vote. 27% of the folks have done the popular vote. And if I'm going to be back one of these two games for my booster, I will go with the Marseille victory here, which of course is a bit of a gamble. You just don't know. And of course, that doesn't mean that Marseille or Roma will be in the finals come next week. Of course, we do have the second legs, and of course, completely different ball game in those second legs. And of course, whatever happens in this game could change my opinion of what I think is going to happen in those second legs. So bear, of course, that in mind when we come back again. But also, I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Who do you think will take the upper hand in the semi-finals? Let me know down below. Also, get your predictions for who's going to be the winner down there as well. So make sure you smash your like, smash your subscribe. Catch me later. But until then, we are done.